Hello everyone, this is LW Gaming and welcome back for another video of Languisher, and this one I'm going to be showing the Apex journey I've gone through last weekend. I was not able to show the weekend before the last weekend. It's due to like how busy I was and I was not able to show that one, so unfortunately that replay will not be playing there. But you can kind of see it through my hero card if you like to see it for yourself. But this time I'm going to show the 3 replays that's taken place last weekend, and this time around there are 2 replays that I've done all by myself. But the third one, however, I decided to have a bit of a backup on the assistant because I've been struggling a lot lately in Apex. Not gonna lie, due to how much meta has changed to the point where some people just couldn't push as easy as before because with those crazy stuff going on in the battle, such as you had to deal with Dragon Slayer and also some other nonsense. So yeah, it took me a while to get to Gold 3, but I finally did it at a cost of a lot of losses, which is unfortunate. So anyways, I'm going to show you guys those 3 replays really quick because these ones are actually pretty noteworthy to see. So anyways, let's queue up the first replay, and I'll just mute myself and let you guys enjoy the 3 replays in the meantime. So here we go.
私の言葉は禁忌の断り。不毛な争いを終わらせる。
ロセウス家の名にかけて。ロセウス家の名にかけて。最後の連戦を受けなさい。ロセウス家の名にかけて。
お前の限界を見せてみろ。はは、この程度か。
定めの時が来ました。
私完璧ですわ。
定めの時が来ました。
人、思考、そして
ロセウス家の名にかけて、ロセウス家の名にかけて、ロセウス家の名にかけて。
私を侮らないでほしいですわ。まだ終わらないよ。これが私の信じる心です。
ロセウス家の名にかけて、最後の連戦を受けなさい。最後の連戦を受けなさい。 定めの時が来ました。アシアへの怒りを受けよ。アシアへの怒りを受けよ。
不毛な争いを終わらせる。不毛な争いを終わらせる。神はすでに示している次の私を。許しはせん。まだやり残したことが。脳みそ変えたら。これが私の信じる心です。消滅の時だ。遅い。私を侮らないでほしいですわ。許しはせん。
最後の連戦を受けなさい。ロセウス家の名にかけて、最後の連戦を受けなさい。定めの時が来ました。
これが私の信じる心です。私の言葉は禁忌の断り。聞いてきた。脳みそ変えたら。神はすでに示している次の私を。
ロセウス家の名にかけて、最後の連戦を受けなさい。
お前の限界を見せてみろ。はは
皆さん間に合わなかったのかな。ゼルダは刃を手に踊り運命をたどる。お前の肉体も意志もこれが犠牲の代償。私完璧ですわ。
不毛な争いを終わらせる。不毛な争いを終わらせる。許しはせぬ。遅い。
ただちょっと失敗しただけ。ゼルダは刃を手に踊る運命をたどる。ただちょっと失敗しただけ。私の言葉は禁忌の断り。弱点を見つけた。
愚かな。
正 正しい道を守り続けて。
不毛な争いを終わらせる。定めの時が来ました。アシアへの怒りを受けよ。アシアへの怒りを受けよ。定めの時が来ました。
まだ終わらないよ。正しい道を守り続けて。セブリークのために。
アシアへの怒りを受けよ。アシアへの怒りを受けよ。許しはせん。不毛な争いを終わら定められた終末。 最後の連戦を受けなさい。最後の連戦を受けなさい。最後の連戦を受けなさい。定めの時が来ました。定めの時が来ました。
無知な愚か者め。
ターゲットは悪党。絶対に容赦しないわ。
死は弱者への恩恵よ。引き裂け。
私完璧ですわ。私の言葉は禁忌の断り。
誰にも止められん。
芦屋への怒りを受けよ。定めの時が来ました。引き裂け。死は弱者への恩恵よ。
最後の連戦を受けなさい。最後の連戦を受けなさい。ロセウス家の名にかけて。弱点を見つけた。
やっと終わったのか。
芦屋への怒りを受けよ。引き裂け。次はひざまずかせてやる。
私を侮らないでほしいですわ。
死は弱者への恩恵よ。引き裂け。死は弱者への恩恵よ。
弱点を見つけた。神はすでに示している次の私を。
定めの時が来ました。芦屋への怒りを受けよ。引き裂け。
最後の連戦を受けなさい。最後の連戦を受けなさい。ロセウス家の名にかけて。
定めの時が来ました。定めの時が来ました。
誰にも止められん。
次はひざまずかせてやる。
誰にも止められん。 誰にも止められん。
弱点を見つけた。ロセウス家の名にかけて、ロセウス家の名にかけて。
死は弱者への恩恵よ。引き裂け。引き裂け。アシアへの怒りを受けよ。定めの時が来ました。
私を侮らないでほしいですわ。ロセウス家の名にかけて。
無知な愚か者め。
Okay, I am back. So before I start this replay explanation, I'm just gonna give you guys a bit of a like thing to know worthy here. So I noticed that some people said this player name like that goes by Zero Pops. I believe that's like, based on what people said about him is that this player used to be the arch nemesis, or I should say rival of one of the OG players in the past, and that person goes by the name of Loomis. I don't know if you know about that one, but I don't think any of you might have heard of this. But apparently, Zero Pops really had beef against Loomis for whatever reason, especially in Apex. And honestly, when I first encountered this player, I did not expect that as an actual what has really happened in the past, like as a story to be exact, where like players have beef with each other. Yeah, this kind of stuff is normal, but however, this I believe this happened about like a long time ago. I don't know which exact year it was, but it was the early years of like when Loomis is still around. But as of right now, I was kind of surprised that Zero Pops is still playing, but it might not be the same person though under this account. So yeah, just keep that in mind. It might not. It might just be a different person behind it. It might not be the same person. So I'll be surprised if this is the same exact person from before, but. Anyways, we're gonna have this replay going. So, anyways, first ban Enya, which is expected. Which you know, some people couldn't handle the copy well. So some people chose to ban Enya for the sake of that. But in exchange, I had to deal with the Dragon Slayer's wrath. So I usually would ban Enya here, but since I've been struggling a lot when I just ban Enya, I decided. I mean, and also I've been struggling a lot against Dragon Slayer lately. Like although I was supposed to kill him, but the thing is, when I try to choose a unit that's usually supposed to destroy him, but ends up being banned too early, so I was not able to do as I wanted to do. So I decided, you know what? If you're just gonna be so resistant, I might as well just start banning Dragon Slayer altogether. So you cannot have all that madman on yourself. So that's what I did. So I pick up my own Dragon Slayer since my Enya's banned. I took the first ban bait. And then he banned my Ilia and Jace, which is whatever. They're pretty strong on their own. So I couldn't blame him for banning those two because these two are dangerous, especially for many reasons. Especially this map here is Jace favored. If you don't know. And I banned his Ilia and Ymir to ensure that my Dragon Slayer does not die, but although I don't think Ben Ymir is gonna matter much because this Ymir is a holy, which I'm not aware of doing a time when I was battling this guy. Because usually when you're doing pick and bans on the first time as like a live thing, you won't be able to see their class. So that's the main reason why I was not able to know whether this is holy or demon. So I better play safe than sorry, at that point. And I got myself SP TRs to ensure I have a way of healing. And he banned my Isolde and Ymir, which is expected because these two are dangerous. And then he chooses his own Isolde. And then I ban his Ninja and Sovereign of the Ice Abyss, or Ice Abyss for short. And I deploy my own AO after so long of not choosing her in a while. So, anyways, I decided to give her a try here because like she is pretty good in some scenarios, but of course that isn't always the ultimate answer though. But when it comes to this kind of teams, I had to use AO to ensure I can make sure they slow down in some capacity, of course. And then Ice and Etching Band, which is unfortunate. And then Z2 deployed here, which makes it somewhat dangerous because she is another unit that can disable revive, which is pretty annoying to deal with. And I banned his AO and Bright Summer because of, I mean, like I said earlier, I don't know their class, like especially Bright Summer. So I decided better ban her in case she's a mage, but she's actually a holy unit in this one. And I secured my Celica, which I don't know why Celica is still pickable at this point, but hey, it is what it is. And then he banned my Bright Summoner and Tyrantel, which is okay. You try to prevent me from reviving, huh? Okay, that's fine. And he picked up the bird, or known as Broken Wing Bird, or Hibiscus, depending on how you're gonna call her. And then I banned his Celica and Eshin, so that way there's going to be not many active against here aside from Liana. And I went ahead and get my Christian, for of course, like to ensure I can survive. I usually do not trust Lightbringer due to like has a slightly less defense power than Christian, but hey, it's just based on my preference. And also she has long legs, mobility, so that's a one advantage there. So anyways, now the first things first, I decided to do the AO move. Although I should have brought teleport instead of the 2C skill, but it is what it is. It's fine without it. It won't matter to me much, because I'm not gonna go out there and then cause some havoc on the first turn. That would be crazy. And also, it's more like asking for death. So I'm not gonna risk that just for sake of like finishing off my opponent too quickly. And I gotta turn off animations so that we don't have to keep seeing that again. Maybe I should lower the desktop audio. Hold on. There you go. I think this amount will be fine. Anyways, I just put revive on the Dragon Slayer to ensure he does not die. And also, there was a lucky draw I did with the Celica's talent. I was able to acquire the Gospel skill, which is going to be useful in the long run, so that way, the purpose for that is to prevent Z2 from putting that disgusting revive disable effect on my unit for the next turn. So I'll be applying that on next turn when Dragon Slayer becomes fully awakened. And Enya placed that prophecy on Liana. I don't know what skill it's gonna be. I think it's 3C. Yep, it is 3C. And I give myself Tiaras' 3C to boost my team right off the bat. And then round 2 is where things starting to get interesting. And this is where I began putting Gospel on 2 of my tanks. That way they don't get penalized by the revive disable. Meanwhile, the bird is trying to inflict gaze on my units. Which honestly, to this day, I just couldn't get my head around like why would they don't call her bird? It just doesn't make sense to me. Unless if it's story wise, then yeah. But other than that, it just doesn't make sense for a person to be named Bird. Like imagine if you met someone that just go by the name Bird. That would be so weird. If you think about it. But of course, this is not reality, so you can't really compare it like that. But I just find it really weird. Okay, and then that engine just copy is solely to like try to push my team already.
定めの時が来ました。不毛な争いを終わらせる。
I don't know if it's just me or is this guy really scared of Dragon Slayer. And also a big mistake on this part for like letting me take Tiaras here because she's gonna ensure my team stays alive.
許しはせん。
And also the Zero Ball is also spawned there, so at first I'm a bit worried, but but since my team has like the Gospel on there, I should not be worried about those tanks getting their revives turned off. Okay, Broken Weaver finally did something there with an attack, which is usually not effective. And then Isolde just activate Will in its place. Heal. Probably to remove that debuff that's on her. And then my AO comes back and then chain once more.
消滅の時だ。
Yeah, Broken Wimber tries to attack my AO, which unfortunately Dragon Slayer comes in and then took the hit like a champ. Almost took off one of his revives, but thankfully did not.
許しはせん。
Isolde is shielding up, and what's the point of that one, which is news to me? And I got myself ice, like I think it's called Ice Dragon Breath.
アシアへの怒りを受けよ。
And this is where I begin to attack Isolde with the Doppelganger AO. And unfortunately AO is gonna die by the bird very soon, but not right now. But I mean what I mean by that is that she's exposed to Broken Wing Bird's wrath. Meaning my tank won't be able to save her, which is unfortunate. And this is where she falls. And at that time I almost ran out of time, so I had to act quickly. So that's why I'm using the Dragon Slayer to go in and attack Liana to like prevent the act against ever used. But this also leaves my Sayaka open, which she dies unfortunately, but I don't really care at this point because I just know my opponent is just done whenever Dragon Slayer is on the enemy side, causing some chaos. As long as Tiaras is standing, I should still be okay. And then Isolde just made a big mistake here of attacking Dragon Slayer, but yeah. Anyways, she just stand there and get act again, but however before she able to do anything, she's going to get attacked by Dragon Slayer. with the attack blessing available, which almost killed her, by the way. She got lucky this time, but when she acted again near his range, yeah, I can see there, that's not lucky. She got lucky before, but not the second time. I can see there, she just died in her own turn. Like, absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd of the character. So if you ever see Dragon Slayer out there, just beware if you're using the acting units because they will get punished. Which is no exaggeration. And the Broken Member is trying to get away from him, but it didn't really do much because the healing just gonna restore the lost HP. And I use my TRS to get that revive off of her. And then Christian comes in with the revive disable, which it does work this time, but however, the reflecting is where that got her killed. And just like that, Zero Props had no choice but to retreat. Now let's move on to the next replay. Okay, here we are. This is the second replay. I fought against someone by the name of SSE, which is the random player name. I don't recognize this guy. So this is nothing big here. Just a typical, I think just a rush team. I don't see much tanks here aside from Tyrantell. So I banned his Dragon Slayer to ensure I don't see the Havoc anymore. And then the Dragon Slayer got banned on my side too, so yep, both sides won't be able to use him. And he picked Enya. So I start banning Ilya and Bright Summoner to just to make sure she doesn't do anything crazy. And then I got my own Enya because why not? And then he banned my Ashin and Celica, which is interesting choices. I mean, Celica makes sense to like ensure I cannot turn one copy. And Ashin prevent act again. It's whatever. And then I banned his Ice and Tiana to ensure I don't get frozen. And then Ilya deployed. And then Ymir and Jace banned, which of course this map is favored in Jace, so makes sense there. And Randall gets picked here to counter Ilya. And then Ymir and Celica banned. And I got my own Isolde. Bright Summoner and AO banned, which is unfortunate. And then AO deployed for the opponent. And then I banned his healers, which is Tiaris and Liana. And then I picked my own Tiaris once more. And then he banned my Ice and Christiane, which whatever, it's fine. And then Bernhard gets picked here, which is an odd pick from on his part. I was like, why not Tyrantell if you want him to guard? Anywho, I digress. And I picked my own Lightbringer. I don't know why do I get those two confused, like Bright Summoner for Lightbringer. I mean, they both had the similar names, but still, it's just really weird to me. Like, I was like, how did I get those two confused? I don't know. Similar names usually happens like that, so. Anyways, this match will be interesting because this character is AoE oriented. Unlike the one I have. Bernhard as a temporary tank. Randall is here to cause some havoc there. And Enya has like a damage skill instead of the Grace, which is a healing skill. Ashin with the 3 skills that you normally would see, the common ones. What is it, the common 3?
私の言葉は禁忌の断り。弱点を見つけた。
Oh yeah, and also about the channel, the YouTube channel that I have as of today. What did you say last night? We have finally reached 700 subscribers, which is phenomenal and incredible too. And I really appreciate all you guys' support, and hope you all continue to support me for the time being, because I'm still gonna dish out Languager content as well as the other games as well, like Sword of Convaleria and Madoka Magica. And speaking of Madoka Magica, I am considering doing that one at a later time, but for now, this is the video I'll be making for time being. which is the Languager replays. I didn't do that last weekend, so I might as well do it for this weekend. I mean, for the weekend that's already played. And also, spoiler alert: this battle ends rather quickly because this guy made one fatal mistake, which he probably regret doing. So, and you'll see that on turn 2. And that accident really saved Isolde from being chained. Unfortunately, Ilya cannot get the shield because of a buff block. And then Enya gets swapped forward, which can make things really dangerous for me. Because you have no idea what he's gonna do with that Enya. So I decided to play it safe and be defensive for the time being. And this is one thing that actually caught me off guard. Like, why would you copy Eshin here? I mean, I get it, you're trying to build up your prophecies, but is that even worth it like this? You're moving your Enya away from your crew, from your whole group. And you put Akagen there and then leaves the realm. Put prophecy on Bernhardt. Don't know which one that was because it doesn't really matter because she's dead. She's so split up from her team, and now this is where she will pay the price. And I used the AoE to speed up that cooldown, like trigger cooldown, so that way she can activate that will immediately. Yep, I activated the red one to ensure I can reach. Not for Garignor, but for me to reach her. Like you see there, she dies instantly, and that was enough for this guy to run away because he noticed that mistake was a fatal. So yep, let's move on to the next replay, which is me against Waltz, and that one is the one where I asked for help because I just knew things gonna go haywire really quickly if I don't know how to deal with him because that guy is really aggressive when it comes to playstyle. So I'll get right into that one really quick. So anyways, be right back. Okay, before we start with the pick and ban, I just gonna give you a disclaimer. The only ones that I was able to get help from is through battle only. The pick and bans is purely my own decision. But the battles, however, I did get backed up by the Mystery Guild players, like Amon and also other people in there. Anyways, thank for these guys helping me out there because I don't know how am I gonna make it when fighting against this kind of player, the one that heavily relies on AOE. Yeah, this is really a nut job to deal with. So Dragon Slayer first ban, which makes sense for me because I don't want to deal with his craziness, and they did the same thing to me. And deploy Enya. And I'm gonna ban the two AoE attackers. These two are someone I hate fighting against. Like honestly, I would try to stay calm fighting these guys, but I just really can't against these two. Like these two are absolutely crazy. Like they can just destroy my team like there's no tomorrow. Like no exaggeration. This has happened to me a lot of times, and I really had enough. So I decided to ban them early on. But of course, sometimes doing that will also cause some big mistakes there. But for me, it did work out in the end because I just don't want these two to be out there at all, causing some problems for me. And then Celica and Eshin banned, which is expected. And then Celica deployed for that team, and this basically enables the turn 1 copy, which is going to be scary. And then Ymir and Bright Summoner banned. And then Ilya deployed to ensure I can slow them down to some degree. And then Jace and Bright Summoner were banned, so that means at this point I had to pick a tank, otherwise I'll go tankless, and this could cost me the game because my box is tank push still. But I am considering changing my strategy to rush, but for now it will just be tank push just to ensure I can protect myself and also dishing damage. And Ice Abyss is placed here on the 3rd pick. And I ban his I ban his Kirika and Eshin, so that way they both won't cause some problems. Like Eshin for the act again, and then Kirika as a sniper. These two I do not want to deal with. I chose Christian as the tank, which to ensure I can survive. And then ban my SBTRS and Bright Summoner. Whatever, it's fine. And then the Tarantel deployed here. And I banned his Tiana and Ilya to ensure there's no way for this person to guard ignore my units. And then Ice Abyss of my own. And then he banned my Isolde and AO. And then there's AO right here. And also initially I was thinking about choosing Ymir here, but since I am also dealing with the holy unit, which is Celica, I decided to go for Tarantel. So that way, I mean, there's no point of me using Ymir for Revive Disable because Tarantel is just not gonna have that effect because his revive is unique. He cannot be stopped, even with Ymir. And this is where the battle starts, where I got my backup, like my backseaters, I would say, for this match at least. Because I knew this is gonna go downhill if I don't get any assist in here. And right there, that double equipment exchange basically enables Enya to first copy on the first turn. And this, of course, got me into panic mode, but usually I wouldn't do. Some people say I should not do that because for one, this basically makes the mass resist effect go down faster. So yeah, that was my mistake on that part. But however, this one kind of works because that way the opponent won't be able to freeze me too quickly. But other than that, the freezing thing won't really matter much because Ilya is going to be able to put Axiom on them to ensure they can't be frozen. Yeah, and also at that point, I was like, what the heck are you doing? Like, why did you put Ice Abyss so far back and then do that? Which some people just don't understand why is that even a thing. Okay, tries to chain my ice but fails because of the axiom. Tarantel with a guard and then put that seal on ice, which usually won't matter because this ice is AoE. And also, in case you guys don't notice at the beginning of the replay, doing the replay view, like I have that one skill right here, which is called Mass Resist. Like I replaced that one with the AoE that she normally would carry, so that way she can prevent my units from being stunned, which is the one purpose of that one. But of course, this doesn't really matter if I did carry this or not because Ilya is just gonna help prevent that. But I decided to play safe and just bring Mass Resist. And also this is where I noticed that Ilya might get attacked here, so I decided to pull them back with two of my skills. Like one of them is like using the chain hook, and then the other one is using the 3C to fly them backwards to ensure that they don't die too quickly. Okay, and then they got their chains back, which is going to be annoying. And this is where I start attacking Tarantel. And this Tarantel is actually not smart of bringing both flying types on his arsenal, which means that he is now dead because I had dead gunners on her, and then she just instantly wiped out that Tarantel like it was just a piece of paper. And this is where I use my own ice to kill that clone. And this clone is gonna die to the AoE meteor. which is whatever, it's fine. I mean, I don't need that anyway. I'm just using the Ice Abyss to counter his clone. And I move a Christian down to ensure I can protect her at all times. Meanwhile, moving my tanks forward. And this is where the assault starts. And also, since my units behind it is in the fog, Enya is safe from being frozen. And you see there, the AoE is right there, but Enya is in the fog, so that means the icicle cannot be created. And I just use this opportunity to kill that AO. And that AoE just hit me, but doesn't really clear anything, because that's their own tiles. And I just used Ice Abyss's Abyssal Prison in place. No need to move. And then that attack actually, I mean not attack, that heal just completely erased that freeze. Which is gonna be pretty annoying. Yeah, the ice already used up that revive from Celica. And now that Taranto is going to take control of AO's body. And tries to protect the real Ice Abyss. And tries to kill my Taranto, but fails to do so. Yeah, I mean just barely, I can see there. And I used Ilya's AoE to finish off that ice, because I just don't know if I could break through that defense there. But I could if I want to, but that'll be too slow, and this could cause my team to get AoE'd into oblivion. I don't want that. So I decided to, for Save Russian, just AoE, and then that'll kill her. And this is where I made a mistake of not chaining my units. Like if I did chain this unit before I moved in, Enya could have died. But for some reason in my mind I didn't do that. But oh well. Yeah, I could have moved in next to the AO, but I'm worried that I might get frozen, so that's why I'm moving right there. And Celica right now is trying her best to get Enya safe, but unfortunately, thanks to the Ice Abyss's aura, Act Again got cancelled. And then Tarantel is attacking Ice, which failed to kill. And this is where he knew he is done. Because there's no way of pushing through while Enya being frozen like this. So anyways, that's about it for this video. So hope y'all find this video helpful or informative on like what has happened in the last weekend. And hope I can keep pushing forward to Languisher in certain cases. But anyways, that will be a tasking job. So I don't know if I'm going to make it there, but we'll see. See y'all next time.